Today we'll be discussing about pathogenesis of coagulopathy in acute promyelocytic leukemia. We know that the atypical thing about acute promyelocytic leukemia is that unlike other things, the risk of coagulopathy is high in this type of leukemia. Exactly why does it happen? So I'll just give you a brief review of why and how it happens. So just to go to the basics, we all know that whenever there is a stimuli, either an endothelial injury or cut or anything like that, so what will happen? First platelet plug will form, followed by that coagulation factors will act and form a thrombi, then again fibrin mesh will form. So after that repair and all that, fibrin mesh will be degraded by the plasmin and then fibrin degradation products will be formed. So now what exactly happens in APML is, there is increased coagulation. Meanwhile, there is increased fibrinolysis. So both the things are happening. The coagulation factors are being used, and coagulation risk is increased, and coagulation is formed. And meanwhile, the formed coagulant fibrins are broken down. So increased fibrinolysis is there. So ultimately, what happens? So all the coagulation factors are used up. So there is decreased coagulation factors, because of which there is coagulopathy in the form of, in non-investigation it will be like deranged PT, APTT and INR. Then because fibrinolysis is there, all the fibrinogens are used up to form the fibrin which are lysed. So fibrin degradation products will be more, just like in DIC, and also the fibrinogen levels will be low. So what we usually do is, in APML patients during the first 2 weeks, we monitor PT, APTT and fibrinogen, and depending on that we will give cryoprecipitate or platelet transfusion accordingly. So coming to pathogenesis as such, so this is our APL cell, that is acute promyelocytic leukemic cell. As I told you, I have divided it into two things. One is increased procoagulant activity and increased fibrinolytic activity. How this increased procoagulant activity happens is, first thing, this APL cell expresses what is called as CP, that is cancer procoagulant. Okay, this cancer procoagulant is present in all leukemic cells, but more so in case of APL cell. So as it is in the name itself, there is increased coagulation because of this cancer procoagulant. Then we all know that our endothelial cells express tissue factor, which on stimulation will cause coagulation cascade activation. This cell itself expresses tissue factor. So these two things act together and increase the coagulation risk. The APL cell also releases certain cytokines, namely TNF alpha, interleukin beta and endotoxin. And what do these cytotoxins do? The cytotoxin will also increase the tissue factor expression. Already these cells are having, and cytokines will further increase the expression of the tissue factors, thereby increasing the coagulation cascade. And then there will be down regulation of thrombomodulin. Thrombomodulin is a component or an element which binds a thrombin, and it acts as a potent anticoagulant in our body. So when the down regulation of thrombomodulin is there, that anticoagulation is nullified. So there is increased risk of coagulation. Then coming to, there is increased expression of surface adhesion molecules in the extracellular matrix. So if you have heard, they say that APML cells are sticky. Why are they sticky? Because the cytokines which are released from the APL cells, they increase the surface adhesion molecules. So what happens? Tumor cells will go and attach to these cells, and they'll cause local activation of the coagulation cascade, again causing increased risk of coagulation. So this is how increased coagulation happens. So coming to how increased fibrinolysis happens, the APL cell itself produces or activates two forms of plasminogen activators, that is urokinase like plasminogen activator and also tissue plasminogen activator, and it inhibits plasminogen activator inhibitor. So on the whole, it is going to increase the fibrinolysis and increase the fibrinolytic activity. Then they produce certain non-specific proteases like elastase and chymotrypsin. They in turn cause what? These enzymes will degrade the clotting factor, so it can decrease the clotting factor, increase bleeding tendencies, and they proteolyze the fibrinolytic inhibitors. So fibrinolysis is more and the bleeding tendency is there. And then finally the elastase itself will directly degrade the fibrinogen. So on the whole, there is increased fibrinolytic activity, and then bleeding risk is there. So this is how the coagulopathy is seen in APML. So to summarize, there is increased coagulopathy in APML patients, and it is because of increased procoagulant activity and increased fibrinolactic activity, and we have to monitor PET, APTT and fibrinogen in these patients and follow whatever appropriate guidelines are there to treat it. Thank you.